Hello, everyone. Thanks for listening to Wake Up, Look Up, a podcast where we connect events happening in real time to the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm Zach Wyrock. And in this episode, we're talking about Netflix freeloading. And we're asking the question, should I use your password? This one, for many of us, is going to hit a little too close to home. Last year, Netflix started cracking down on password sharing. The approach to using their product where maybe I paid for it, but I shared my password with you and you were able to use it at your home or vice versa. It was a pretty strong move for them because everyone knew that all the streaming platforms were falling victim to password sharing. And the question was, will you lose customers? And is it right to alienate potential customers by doing this? But the results for Netflix were pretty staggering. Within a year of cracking down on password sharing, Netflix had added 30 million subscribers. Now, to be fair, some of those subscribers would have just been people who hadn't had Netflix before who were jumping in. But it's pretty reasonable to think that a large percentage of that 30 million are people who all of a sudden needed their own account. Even just this year in 2024, Netflix added 9 million subscribers in just the first quarter. Simply put, Netflix cracked down on password sharing and as a result grew. They had a more massive problem with this password sharing thing than maybe anyone realized. And other companies are paying attention. Just yesterday, CNN had an article saying that both Costco and Disney Plus are going to enact similar policies, with Costco working harder to make sure that you are using your membership, not mine, and Disney Plus using the same processes that Netflix has used to make sure that I'm not logging in to your account. Now, for these companies, the logic is pretty simple. One paying subscriber is not as good as two. So if you and I share an account, these companies lose money. Magnify that by 10 million people, and we're talking about a considerable amount of money. But for us, from our perspective, we wanted to ask the question more, is it morally and ethically right to share each other's passwords? Is it right to save a few bucks by, in essence, cheating these companies? Well, it's important to make a distinction. A lot of companies have processes set up where you can share things, not just you're able to do it, but they actually support it. There are cell phone companies, for example, who will say, hey, you can have 6 lines on your account. That's your family plan. And by family, we really just mean whoever you want those 6 people to be. There are other streaming platforms that just limit the number of devices that you have. So they'll say, hey, you get 5 devices and we don't care if that's 5 people using those devices or 1 person with 5 devices. So it's important to differentiate. No 2 streaming platforms are the same. No 2 policies are the same. So we'd really have to understand what the company is saying. But in the extreme situations, in the instances where we know these companies don't want us to do that, are trying to stop us from doing that, and we still find a way around it, I think we have to be honest and say it's probably not the best. You know, if theft is defined as taking something you didn't pay for, taking someone's product, taking someone's work without compensating them for that, then certainly in extreme cases, this would apply. If you're using a company's product but intentionally not paying for it, it's no less stealing from them just because you found a loophole or a way of not being caught. After all, if I go to the grocery store and decide that I'm going to steal a couple steaks for dinner tonight, it doesn't become theft if and when I get caught. It's theft whether I'm sitting in jail or I'm eating ribeye that night at my kitchen table. It's theft because I took something I didn't pay for. But here's the other thing. I think we tend to think of ourselves as mostly immune to the decisions we make. In other words, I'm able to take something that I didn't pay for, and it doesn't shape me. It doesn't change me. It doesn't make me who I am. But I'm not so sure. I mean, the truth is that the decisions we make are, in aggregate, what make us who we are. The decisions that we make are what form our character. And what we're really talking about in the case of Netflix, for example, is about $20 a month. A person who would sacrifice their integrity for $20 a month is a person who would sell out for $20 a month. Doesn't really matter if they're getting Netflix or what they're doing. They're a person who's trading character, who's trading integrity and authenticity for $20. None of us want to be that person. Probably none of us think of ourselves as that person, but there's a simple rule here. If you don't find the product valuable enough to pay for it, then don't. If you don't have the money to pay for it, then don't. A third option, finding a way of getting it without paying for it, is not moral or ethical just because it makes sense to you. And if we can legitimize that, what else can we legitimize? And it doesn't really matter if we bring our kids to church, for those of us that are parents, telling them about the holiness of God and the dangers of sin, if every day when our kids log in to watch shows on Netflix, they're logging into grandma's account. A 3-year-old might not pick up on that, but I can tell you, unfortunately, a 13-year-old will. Who are we? What matters to us? Do we believe a God who is good and wise and just is always watching and always expecting us to live out of his character? I know this is a painful thing to talk about, and I know if you're like me, you're already thinking about the budget impact. But in the same way that negative choices form us, so do positive ones. Reclaiming your integrity, living with the character that you're supposed to have in light of Christ will also form you. So don't view it as a conversation about $20 or a conversation about streaming. View it as a conversation about becoming who Jesus wants you to be. Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Wake Up, Look Up. While you're here, make sure you click like and subscribe so you get future content from Wake Up, Look Up. And hey, leave a comment below letting us know what you thought or interacting in some way with what you just watched. I'd love a chance to talk with you more in the comment section. And also, while you're here, check out all the other content CCC puts out, including the videos that are around me right now.